Your consistency will pay off. Hear me when I say this again. Your consistency will pay off. Now, I've found that there are three things anyone needs to succeed. The right identity, the right place and audience, and consistency. So let's look at this topic and let's model it after Jesus' own life. And we're going to look at that through Mark chapter 6 and the book of John. So I've been going through the book of John, and one thing I've realized about the identity of Jesus is every time it came into question, he would let them know, I do what I see my Father doing. I do what I see my Father doing. And I don't seek my own glory, I seek his glory. And so he stood on that identity, and it's what would rile up the Jews, the Pharisees, and the scribes and the Sadducees against him, because they couldn't come to terms with the fact that he referred to God as his Father. But he didn't waver about his identity. And because of that, he got some people who were offended. Some people were offended at him. Others maligned his name. Others couldn't believe in him, but others did. Others saw what he did, believed him because of what he did. Others heard him speak, and because of his words, they came to believe in him. And yet others were told about him and came to believe in him. And that's probably you and I when someone came to evangelize to us. So I want us to look at Mark chapter 6 because it's very interesting. The beginning of Mark chapter 6 and the end of Mark chapter 6 are so contrasting on who Jesus was and what he was here to do, and we can glean some lessons from that. So in the beginning of the chapter, he goes to his hometown and he's teaching. And so as he's teaching, the people, they get amazed. They wonder, where did he learn all this that he's teaching? Where did he learn this? And in fact, they start questioning his background. They start asking, isn't this the carpenter? Isn't this Mary's son and brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? And they took offense. And so Jesus makes this statement. Only in his hometown, among his relatives, and in his own house is a prophet without honor. He could not do any miracles there except lay hands on a few sick, and he was amazed at their lack of faith. So he encounters this group that, first of all, they are questioning his identity. There are people who are going to also question you. They've known you, and that's the only version of you they know, and they're going to keep stuck there. And it's not upon you to keep changing their minds, that you changed, that you're a new person, that you've put the old aside. That's not your mission here on earth. Right? So let's go to the end of Mark chapter 6. So when we come to the end of the same chapter, we can see a sharp contrast with how it started. Verse 53 onwards, they get to a place called Gennesaret or Gennesaret and land there with a boat. As soon as they got out of the boat, people recognized Jesus. They ran throughout the whole region and brought all those who were sick wherever he passed, and wherever he went into villages, towns, or countrysides. They placed the sick in marketplaces. They begged him to even touch the edge of his cloak, and all who were touching him were healed. I mean, what? These are people who know who Jesus is. and they are not even, they're actually taking off, taking action, and bringing the sick to him to be healed, even having more faith that if they just touch his cloak, they are going to get healed. And that's the amazing thing about the three things I started by mentioning. The right identity. Jesus knew who he was, where he came from, and where he was going. The right place and audience. You can see the first place, where it was his hometown, people were doubtful, right? People doubted who he was and what he was doing. And actually, they questioned it. Third, the consistency. He did not change the message to suit them. He didn't change the message to suit the audience. He didn't change the message he came to preach to suit the audience. Meaning, he didn't change his whole core of the why he came on earth, to save the sinners. Whether he was in front of the Pharisees, whether he was in front of his friends, whether he was in front of rulers, and he remained consistent. And I urge you, if you can keep these three things constant, your consistency will make a way for you. So, God be with you. I hope to catch you on the next one. I'll share this on Patreon, and hopefully I'll be able to share it on my other platforms, but you can interact with me on YouTube, my website, Facebook, Instagram, and it would just be a joy to interact with you. So God be with you. See you on the next one.